Okay, well this is a 2,000 kilometer update. I think it's 2,000 kilometers what I got on here. Problem is, see how it says 2164? It's probably more like 2,300. I'm going to show you why. Basically, I'll give you an overview. The bike's been awesome. I haven't had to do anything on it except for adjust the brakes due to the brake pads going down. And there is one problem though. You see down here, this swing arm axle, it's a two-piece axle. It will actually back out. The screw will back out, and I almost lost this. And I talked to Jansno like right away, and they sent me like within an hour. They had a tracking number with me, but I actually found it in front of my walkway. So here, I'm going to show you what this is because I got to explain it to you. Here, I got the axle here that they sent me. As you can see, it's a two-piece axle, right, with just a bolt. This bolt gets loose. So what I would highly recommend is putting Loctite on it. I put blue Loctite, but if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to use red. Here, let me take it apart. I think I got it's a 6mm bolt. Yeah, here we go. See, what'll happen, see this one, they actually put the Loctite on it. So I might replace this bolt because the bolt that came with the bike, it didn't have this, which is a little washer, and it didn't have any Loctite at all. And this kept coming apart. And the problem is if this comes off, well, now you only have this thing not held on by anything, holding your swing arm together. Yeah, that's safe. So obviously they sent me a new part because this looks slightly different than the one I have on the bike. So I may actually replace the bolt because look, it actually has proper Loctite on it. So just be in mind that you need to put Loctite on this swing arm bolt. Otherwise it will come apart. Now the reason I suggest using blue is because you want to be able to go in and be able to grease these. Like you should have synthetic grease along these races here, just so you can keep the swing arm moving up and down properly. So what I would suggest is, yeah, do this. Put Loctite on it. Don't just leave it because it'll fall out. And they also put this little, this is what I'm going to replace it with. Right now I just have the old one on, but I'm going to go home and replace it. Also, for fun, look what I did. I just replaced the tires with these big boats. These tires are awesome. Like, it changes the whole bike. It makes it feel like a $500 more bike. Makes it feel like a $1,500 bike, not a $1,000 bike. And the thing is these are the same price. It's the same price as the knobbies. So why the fuck would they put the knobbies on there? Or at least have a choice. Like, give us a choice. Like, oh, checkbox, I want street tires. Checkbox, I want knobbies. Because those BFT knobbies are not bad tires. They're just really shitty for the street. I'm picking up speed and range with these tires because they're street tires. So this might be something you guys might want to think about getting if you do more street riding. Now, obviously, if you do more dirt riding, then these would be silly because it's like they have, you know, they're semi-treaded, but, you know, obviously they're not going to be for the dirt. But anyway, let's take a little ride on the BFTs and you can hear the difference. Well, not hear the difference because now they're quiet. So let's just take a quick little ride. This is going to be a short video. I haven't done anything to it other than the swing arm problem and just adjust the brakes as normal. So what I'll do is also, I got to tell you one thing. This display is kind of fucked up. Now I'll tell you why. For me to get dead on accurate with a GPS, for the odometer, I put the wheel diameter at 25. Dead on. No problem. It works. But the speedometer's fast. So P18 is the speed compensation percentage. It was about 10% too fast, so I put it to 90. Great, now the speedometer works. However, it affects the odometer as well. So now the odometer is just as fucked up as it was before. So this, if I go to my odometer, it should be like 2300, 2400. So it's fucking useless. Like, why would they put something? They put two variables in there, one for the wheel diameter and one for the speed. But if they both do the same thing, then what's the fucking point? Like, I could have had this perfect, you know, GPS calibrated, but it can't do that. So what I've done is I'll put a link in the description. I've actually ordered a different display, and this display has about 5 or 6 different protocols that it's compatible with. So I'm hoping it'll work with this. You know what I mean? Because then maybe I can get an accurate spin. It also is a bigger display. It's about that big, and it's got the battery bars or whatever has an actual voltage next to it. It has a watt meter, which tells you how many watts are going. You know, it's just a way better display. This is like literally the cheapest shit you can get. This is $13 on AliExpress. So that just shows you what the display is. And I don't even mind it. If I could get this accurate, I probably wouldn't even have bothered. I wouldn't have bothered changing it. I'm like, that's fine. There's numbers, and I can get it. You know, I can get readings out of it and voltage. Who cares, right? Problem is it's not accurate. Well, it's accurate. You get one or the other. Either the speed's accurate or the odometer's accurate, but not both. So it's kind of pointless, because you want the odometer accurate, because if you know you get a certain battery range, if you go, okay, I know I can do 35 kilometers on the 14 amp battery, you can look at the odometer. If you don't know shit about voltage or voltage levels or whatever, you can look on the odometer and go, oh, I'm getting in the high 20s. Maybe I should start going home. You see what I mean? Like, this is what we used to do in old school motorcycles before they had fuel gauges, is we'd reset the odometers every time we filled up. And then we knew we'd get, you know, X amount of mileage out of it. We go, oh, well, we get at least 200 kilometers on the tank before we hit the reserve. So then we could gauge how much fuel we were using. But you can't do that on this, because the odometer is totally fucking useless. Like 6.3 kilometers on this little trip I did, it's probably more like 8. You see what I mean? So it's under-reporting the kilometers. So you may say, oh, geez, I've only gone 6.3 kilometers. Boy, I got lots of juice left. But you don't. It's 8 kilometers. You see what I mean? Anyway, we'll just take a little ride. We won't do too much. Just do a little ride so you can hear the tires, because it's awesome. They're like totally quiet. There's like barely any tire noise. And you can actually hear the motor, which is kind of surprising. Is this motor is quieter than my 500 watt for some reason. It's a very quiet motor, which is great. It's very smooth. So I don't know what, there's no name brand on it, so it's probably like Ho Chi Minh Trail number 12 motor, but it's a decent motor. Anyway, let's just go take a quick ride for, you know, a few minutes, and then you can hear that it's like quiet. All right, we'll just go on pedal assist 3 because we're on a bike trail. It's very early in the morning, that's why I did it. So there's less traffic, so I can kind of go 3. Normally I go about 2, because there's, you know, a ton of people or whatever. But, you know, there's not many people at 6 in the morning, so on a Sunday. Alright. Yeah, see? No tire noise. Doesn't sound like a monster truck. It's extremely smooth. It's very quick turning because of street tires. There's no vibration. Nothing. Beautiful tires. Same price as the knobbies. It's not like Jansno's losing money by putting these on. Right? It's dollar for dollar. Same price. Now, I guess we'll have to figure out what the longevity is, but I put them on at about 1,800 kilometers on the crazy clock. So I've got about 350 on them, 350 kilometers, and then they look the same as the day they came out of the package. Now, these tires that I ordered from Amazon, and the reason I did, because I could have got them cheaper, they're CST big boats. Is if they came all fucked up, like remember I showed you those pictures of where the China seller turned them into spaghetti and sent them and just totally destroyed the bead. That's why I ordered this set from Amazon this time, right? Because when they did come, they were folded in 4, but you know, that's fine. That's not enough to destroy the bead. When they're folded into 20s or whatever the fuck the Chinese seller did, then there's problems. So that's the only thing is why I ordered these. Because yeah, I could have probably saved a few bucks, but I worked it out, and I'm basically paying just the standard retail price as if I bought it from CST itself. So the wholesaler's making a few bucks on it, but it's not like I'm paying crazy amounts. It was 150 bucks for 2 tires and 2 tubes. So the 2 tubes are worth about 20 bucks. So yeah, I paid about 110 bucks. Well, that's after taxes. It was like 138 before. So yeah, I paid about 60 Canadian. Yeah, that's about 44 American. That's what the CST site says retail is. So, you know, it's not like I got hosed or anything. But if I wanted to wait a bit, I could have ordered them from maybe AliExpress and saved, you know, 10 bucks a tire or something. It's not worth it because they take like, you know, weeks to get to you. I had these the next day. And because I ride on the street so much and the knobbies are so bad for the street, like look, you can't hear anything. All I hear is wind noise. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but look how I can turn tight like it's like proper street tires. It's like motorcycle tires. Now, I'm not sure of the longevity of it. I guess we'll have to find out, but after 350 they seem like the day they came out of the factory, probably they're going to be fine, at least as much as the knobbies. These ones have an aramid layer for puncture protection. Aramid, it's just basically Kevlar. Kevlar is just a name brand for aramid plastic fiber layers, but so it has a little bit of puncture protection, but they're pretty light. So I don't know how much you actually get out of it. And I just used the same tubes that were on the old tires because those are official CST tubes, and they come with like a puncture layer on top of them. So we'll see how it works. Like obviously all this puncture protection, you know, is kind of, you know, it helps a bit, I guess, but you know, if you have like a 6-inch nail, it's not going to do anything. But hopefully, you know, it gives you something. So, you know, oh, I ran over a bit of glass, so instead of getting a puncture, it's like, oh, it did it. You know, stuff like that, light stuff, or oh, I ran over a tack or something. Instead of getting a puncture, you know, you're kind of saved. So, you know, it's it's sort of light puncture protection. It's not like a motorcycle tire where it's millimeters thick. Instead of maybe 2 millimeters, it's like 5 or whatever. But with a motorcycle tire, it's also much, much heavier, right? You need more power to move the wheels. But anyway, see, look, you can't, I would still be able to hear the tires on the knobbies. It'd be like, brrr, you know. So it depends on what you want, obviously. Like for some people, like Moto Cheese, who I saw do a review on this, he does mostly dirt. So it's like, yeah, keep the knobbies. Why not? You know, he does the only time he goes on pavement is to get to dirt trails. So it'd be like, yeah, keep the BFTs. Like I said, they're not bad tires, they're just bad for the street. Okay, let's pass this guy. Like, if you go on the dirt more than the street, well, yeah, there's no point in buying these things. But these do have a little bit of tread on them, which is probably good for the rain. That's what it looks like to me. It just looks like to me they have a shitload of rain grooves. So if you're on the street, you're not going to be hydroplaning. Like, it seems to also have a little bit extra tread on the sides, or to the outside of the tire, so it'll bite in a little bit better during adverse conditions, like as rain, you know, wet roads, cold roads where the tires are cold, so they're not as sticky. But yeah, these tires are great. All I'd suggest is, you know, for the first 20 or 30 kilometers on them, because they come with a coating, just like a motorcycle tire, you just kind of take it easy a little bit. A way to break them in fast is just go to a parking lot and just do circles. So it scrapes off, because you're putting, you know, torque on the tire. It just scrapes off all the coating faster. That's what I did. I just went into a parking lot, look, like say here, and I'd just be like this. So you can kind of hear the rubber squeaking a little bit, because there's probably still a little bit of coating on it. Just do this, go in circles. Right, and then do the other side, right side, go in circles, right? Because you're going slow, so if they get slippery or whatever, you're not going to wipe out heavily, right? Just keep doing it. See, you can hear the tires sort of squeak a little bit. You'll hear that sound when you're doing it, but it'll be a lot louder when they have, you know, just fresh out of the package. But yeah, now that they're sort of broken in a bit, look, they're just like super good. Like it's like they turn so quick compared to the knobbies is because they're smooth, right? Anyway, we're at the end of this little bit of the trail. I'll stop it here. You probably don't need me to ramble on too much about it. All right. Okay, this is just to show you, these are the tires that came with the bike. They're the BFTs. Here, where is it? There, as you can see, CST BFTs. These are the ones that came with the bike. This is the front, and this is the back. So after 1,800 kilometers, yeah, this is getting kind of dead. I'd say you could probably get at least 2,000 kilometers out of them before you really are like, oh yeah, they're kind of totally toast. Which is actually pretty quite impressive, considering these are full knobbies. And I've ridden them on the street really hard, and they still have some sort of tread left. Like I said, these tires aren't bad, they're just bad for the street. So, for example, Moto Cheese, which does another review of this bike, he rides mostly in like sand and dirt, you know, pathways and all that sort of stuff. I'd say keep them, because, you know, they still work on the street, and look, there's still tread left. Like normal knobbies would have been toast by now. So, hey, you know, but, you know, I'm putting on the big boats, but this shows you what they look like after 1,800 kilometers of hard street riding before I take them to the recycler. All right, there you go.